Okay, so what I want to do in this tutorial is go over how to build an online interactive map with the ArcGIS online system. So it's pretty straightforward. It's more intuitive than a lot of their products, and it really does showcase what you can do with ArcMap. So this is a good project for you to do. So the first thing we need to do is sign in. And if you have not created an account, you're going to have to create a public account on here. So just go through the steps on there. It doesn't take much. And then once you've created it, make sure you remember your username and password. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And it looks very much the same. And there's a lot of features on here that I haven't used. Right here is make a map. Okay, this is the easiest link. You can also go up to map up here. Both of them will take you to the same spot. Okay, so I clicked on that, and then it goes through step by step what to do. Pan and zoom the map to the area and search by its name for the address. So there's a few things you can do to get to where you want your map to be. You can choose a base map, and then you're going to add specific layers on there. Okay, so it's pretty easy. I'm going to zoom in to the eastern part of Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana, because the layers that I want to load today are going to go here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead for now and leave this base map. And then what I need to do is I need to add a shapefile. Okay, so adding a shapefile is not super straightforward, but you can see I can search for layers, I can add layers from the web, and I can add layers from a file. Okay, so where I have the shapefiles on my machine, I want to add layers from a file. So if I click on that, you're going to see that it wants this to be in a specific format. Either it needs to be a zipped file, a CSV comma spaced file, or a text file, or a GPS file. So I haven't built that yet, so we're going to go through that together. Okay, so I've brought my Windows Explorer up here, and I have some interesting shapes that I think are interesting on here of the caldera of Yellowstone, and I want to load that on my interactive map. So here I've got the files on here, and again, this is just in my File Explorer. So you're going to have to get into File Explorer. You're going to have to navigate to the correct folder where your information's at. And then what I need to do is select all of the files that I want to load, and then I'm going to right-click and send to a compressed or zipped folder. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it and call it Caldera. As you can see, it's highlighted right here. So I'm going to hit enter. There we have it. I'm just going to go ahead, for ease of use, move it onto my desktop. I don't have to do that, but it does make it easier for me to find it when I try to load it onto the system. Okay, so with that, I'm going to close my File Explorer, and I'm going to go back to my Add Content to Map. Okay, and I'm going to add from File, go to Choose a File, and on my desktop, if I did everything right, the Calderas is right there. And I want to keep the original features. This is okay for most things the default, but I'm just going to keep the original features. I don't want it to do any generalization. So I'm going to import the layer. And it's missing a projection file. So I've omitted something. I need to go back and project that. So this is a good example, right? So I've run into a problem here with my zip file because it is not projected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my ArcMap. I'm going to make sure that that thing is projected. Okay, so there's my ArcMap. And what I want to do, this will get me pretty close. I'm going to open up the map file. And again, you're not going to have this, but it would be the same steps you would have to take to do this. So I'm going to go back into my original ArcMap file to find my shapes, and here's the shapes I'm trying to load. Okay, and what I want to do is look at what my projection is on the data frame. And right now it's a WGS 1984 Web Mercator, so I'm just going to favorite that so I can find it easy. I'm going to go to my catalog. I'm going to go to my folder where I've put everything. And it's not on my desktop, obviously. It's going to be under Documents, GIS Data for me. And there's my data files. So I'm looking for my calderas. Here it is. Right click, go into the properties, and now I'm going to set my projection to that. And I'm good. Okay, so that's done. Now I have to go back over to my file explorer. I've got to recreate that zip file because I did not have that projected. Now if you go through and use the GPS data, it should be projected, so you can kind of skip a lot of this stuff if that's the case. But if you run into this, well, now you know roughly what you need to do. Okay, back into my data files, and here's my calderas. So I'm going to select it, and you notice there's the projection file that I was missing before, and I'm going to send to a zip folder, which I'll call calderas again. Move it on to my desktop. I'm going to replace it because I already had it on there. Close that again. Now I should be able to successfully add that. So let's see if I did everything right. And there are my calderas. And I'm going to import the layer, keeping the original features, and look, perfect. Okay, so I now have the data on here. I can tell it which attribute I want to show. In this case, I'm just going to show location. I can change the symbology here. I can make it transparent, which is very useful if you want to see things spatially. And then I usually want to set my visible range relatively high. So these two things show where it'll be visible. So if I zoom out too far, it disappears. It goes away. And if I get too far in, it will also disappear. I don't want that. So I set my range really big. Okay. The symbol I can change here. I can make it a different color if I want, and I can also reset the transparency. So here that looks pretty good. Okay, so there's other options there that we can mess with once we get this on here. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to hit done. Okay, I'm going to back out a little bit so you can see the extent of these three different volcanic calderas in the Yellowstone area. Now again, I can add a base map. I can add imagery. In this case, I'm just going to use the topographic. I think it's good. It's nice and clean. And I can also change things here. I can change the style. I can show the legend. There's several other options which we don't really want to mess with today. But really, this is about as far as I want you to get today. Feel free to kind of mess with a lot of these different options on here. We will go over these in some length later down the road. Once you've got this how you like it, you're going to want to save this. I'm trying to remember, here's our save button, and I can go save as. In this case, this is Yellowstone calderas. I can add tags, and I'm going to save the map. Well, I guess I have to have a tag, so I'll put Yellowstone on there. Okay, now I'm saving the map. And now I can share right here, and I can get the link. Okay, So I can copy, I can just right click and copy that. And until I make it public, you can't see it, but the idea is once I'm ready to show this, I can flag that. Okay, so once I'm there, I'm done. I'm ready to go. You will need to hit share, and you will need to make it available to everyone so I can see it. And this is the link that you're going to want to share with me when you upload it. Okay, hope that's helpful. When you're done, hit done. Feel free to log out. Don't forget to keep track of your username and password because you'll need it later. Thank you.